New Zealand. We hope you are enjoying the weather. We have had the Hare Krishna, you all can see me now? Right.
Yes,
So we've done our prayers. Now see, unless everybody shows your faces, I cannot go online, you see, because then we'll see blank faces, blank screen on our links that we give to YouTube. So it's up to you. Right, Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone. We are to our self-realizations program. This particular program, I very much look forward to for hearing all the devotees and their realizations. And yes, so for getting enough time for us, we have we've given the time frame from 4 o'clock onwards, to 7 o'clock, so that way everybody gets enough opportunity to speak. Hare Krishna. Okay, right. So who would like to start with the program today, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry, I can't show myself. I'm at work.
Yes.
But I would like to share my realization first. So sort of working as well.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Wonderful. Let's start.
Thank you. Thank you, Amrit Prabhu, for organizing this program and giving me the opportunity to share my realization. And Hare Krishna to all the dear devotees. Actually, these programs, realization programs, are very nice. We I've learned so much from these and get to know the other devotees' points, and it's very good to hear, very nice to hear realizations. Very learning as well. So I want to share my realization on the Transcendental Mellow, Guru Maharaj's Transcendental Mellow. It says like that: we should carve one thing in our mind. Everything is under the control of Krishna. Whether we like it or not, it is a fact, because he is the supreme controller. If he allows, only then we can see and hear each other. In this age, it is so rare to come together to glorify him. Day by day, Kali Yuga forces are advancing very fast. In order to get out of the precarious situation we are in, very sincere attachment to Vedic traditions are required. The domain of Krishna is completely unknown to us. Our sincerity alone will give the peep into that domain. His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj. Jai Guru Maharaj. So when I was reading this, so many points in this mellow, and but I realized that Maharaj said that it is so rare to come together to glorify Krishna in this age. So, and we have so many, because we have created our life so much complicated, and we have so many engagements and distractions nowadays. But because by the extreme causeless mercy of Guru Maharaj, he gave us the shelter of Hare Krishna weekend, and we coming together for Krishna Katha. So, so in the association of devotees, that is also very rare, and only in association we get the chance to understand that what is our situation is in reality. It is very precarious, in one moment everything can be gone, and we are very attached to all the paraphernalia around us, and this understanding only comes by following the process and cultivating bhakti in the association of like-minded devotees. So Maharaj actually, Maharaj said that our sincerity alone can give us a peep into Krishna Katha. Oh, sorry, into the Krishna domain. So I have no realization and no idea that what is Krishna's domain is, but because by the mercy, extreme causeless mercy of Srila Prabhupada and his books, that we can be reading and we can understand that what is about the spiritual world, but people often say that, oh, I'm spiritual and I'm not religious. And then what is to be a spiritual person? That there is no clear answer, There's so many misconceptions and hodgepodge understandings that doing meditation or following that God is a energy, or being vegetarian, or following these pseudo yoga activities, that it is so confusing, and nowadays, because so many things popping up, and everyone have as Amrish Prabhu says in his program, every man with a dog have the opinion, to saying that what what is spirituality is. But when we read Srila Prabhupada books and we come to that understanding, and we can have some clarity, in Srimad Bhāgavatam, the Canto 1, Chapter 2, verse 6, it's a famous verse. It says that Swepumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshaje ahatuki apratihata yayatma suprasiddhati. Translation: the supreme occupation, dharma, for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So here, dharma means the supreme occupation, not the sectarian religions that in which people are divided into. And Lord is said to be here adhokshaje, means who is transcendent and who defeats all efforts by speculations to understand him. So this is my realization that only following bhakti in the association of devotees can save me from this precarious situation. Otherwise, it is so many distractions there, because these programs organized by His Grace Amrish Prabhu engaging me in the process. And every week we are in the association of devotees, in which we is very rare, because it's very rare. It's not it's not to be found, because it's so many, like on the weekends people go out and do things, the parties and clubs and things, and when we come together to glorify Krishna, it's rare. Yeah, that is rare. And I just want to thank Amrish Prabhu to organizing this program, so we can be focused, because even if we miss a program, then it seems like, oh, and we distracted, just keeping us the focus. So that's my realization, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Sanjay Prabhu. Yes, that is true. Continuity, Maharaj would say that continuity means progress. We think that progress has got some other definition, where we will become very ecstatic in our devotion and all. That's right, we will become. But continuity is progress. And many times we have to continue even with the cost of our own, even if you may not appreciate it. You're not in the mood, just do it. What is the question of your mood? Get on with it, And it is true that ultimately there's so many people, so many living beings who are dependent upon you, upon these programs. And every one of us are in the same boat. So all this is for our own personal benefit and by excellent college mercy of Srila Gurudev, to engage in service of Srila Prabhupada. And credit goes to all of you, Sanjay Prabhu, yourself as well, and all your wonderful devotees that you come and you glorify. And in all these many years, 21 years, we have had 20 and a half years. We have had, I think, 2 programs or 2.5 programs where devotees didn't come. And we had our own family, me, my wife, and my son was devotees. We did a program. So credit goes to all of you. Thank you very much for starting the program.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes, Prabhuji. It's continuity, as you said. It's very, very much is the key. And thank you for carrying on, Prabhuji, and tolerating us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, please. Who would like to go? Don't wait for others. Just jump on. Just jump on. The early bird gets the best worms, Then I'll start to cut the timing then for everybody. I think we should do that way now. Henceforward, They allow timing for everybody even if you're late, So no. Now if once the timing is up, I'll start to cut it. You're going to 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Then everybody will start to speak first. I think that's what I'm going to do now. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you, Amrishu, for organizing this program. And thank you, Sanjay Prabhu, for actually taking a lead. And thank you, very nice realization as well. So today, actually, I would like to share a realization on some of the points that I was meditating on. I found actually an article that His Grace Amrish Prabhu sent us many years ago, I think back in 2013. There is an article that Prabhuji shared by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, preaching boldly. So actually I was looking for something else and actually just glanced over and I thought, okay, it might be relevant because we're learning to preach. So I read it and it was really instructive. And one of the reasons, actually the instruction were quite tough. As he's very well known as a Sinha Guru. So actually, he has been asked a few questions, and actually the answer is actually given there as well. So where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was asked, how should we preach to ordinary people? So where actually he spoke on a couple of points, which actually resonated with me quite a lot because that's what normally I have seen in this program. Sorry, I think there is a technical issue with my laptop. Just a minute. So where actually he replied, actually while speaking to ordinary people, he said that most of the people in this world, they are actually very diseased with different ailments, and everyone should be treated individually. And actually the diagnosis has to be made, and then the actually, medication can be prescribed. And where he also spoke on actually some of the people like the platform or preachers. So they are actually what I understood. So that is my realization that people who are actually go and preach to the large audience, just one-off programs. So where he said that actually that only provide a token relief is not going to do well to most of the people, because that is not really tailored to the needs actually. But in Hare Krishna weekend, what I realized over the years that actually everyone who actually into the program, so I think his needs are identified, his strengths, weaknesses, and Amrish Prabhu means over the years I realized, Amrish Prabhu told us that the plan for everyone, actually what is needed for him to progress. So I was thinking on that point, actually, how the preaching should be conducted. Here, actually, Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur actually pointed the same thing, that everyone actually need to be diagnosed properly, and then the actually medication can be given for their progress. So it's very, very important, because now we are preaching. I always wondered initially when Amrish put into this concept of home programs, or having one-on-one preaching, so that was very, very important. And I'm realizing now actually, because people actually come to the program and actually they're listening, but unless we know them well, actually what they really need, or unless we understand what are their intentions, it's very hard to actually make them progress on that path. So that is very important point he made. And also he mentioned that over 40 years, actually, he has not seen anyone who is genuinely interested in actually learning about Krishna. So the same thing we see here, actually people are normally, they do not have time to actually learn or actually listen about Krishna. They're always actually, they engage their time listening to the mundane things. And where he also said that speaking truth or hearing about the truth is very unlikely going to enhance anyone's popularity. So I was actually thinking on that point, and that's the reason, actually when even as the preacher, even we speak actually from what intention we are speaking. Actually, are we enhancing our popularity, or are we really prepared to actually speak a bold truth? So sorry, I actually lost my screen, so I couldn't see the actually article. So I'm just actually memorizing what I read. So he also actually been asked actually about speaking a truth, where he mentioned this point. That actually, if actually this truth must be spoken, if it is going to actually going to do any good for the actually who is listening, it must be spoken. Even if it's bitter or it's not very pleasant, it should be spoken. That's how the preacher should be. And actually, there are some people, so-called religious leader, actually the way they speak, actually, where he mentioned that they're actually trying to save their own position or maintain themselves by flattering others. So that should not be a mode of preaching. So one should understand what the absolute truth is, and one should actually live according to the instruction and then go and preach. Where he said that if somebody is preaching to you and he's giving you the actually transcendental knowledge, so you should actually render all the services to your actually spiritual master who is actually doing this to you. And he also mentioned that we should make all the nice arrangement for Krishna and his devotees to live comfortably, but we should accept very simple life, and actually we live in a small cottages. So that should be our mood. And when we live life accordingly, then we're actually eligible to preach the same messages to the other. So this is very, very important instructions, actually, what he mentioned. He also actually talked on actually why he has established all the mathas, the math in India, the Gaudiya mathas. So he said that actually the primary reason for establishing is not to actually please any what they call karmis, or the bhogis or tyagis, but this is for the actually pure devotees, for them to actually progress in their devotional service. And he also mentioned that actually the objective is not to actually get few dollars from someone, to actually continue this, preaching activity, but actually the real aim is to actually, they're actually spending a lot of money to actually keep this actually Sankirtan movement going, so people can be actually attracted. So all this actually point, what he mentioned, actually I was thinking on those points, and actually how the preaching should be conducted. where he also asked if how actually should we actually chant the actually name of Krishna constantly, where he said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, actually, Kirtaniya Sada Hari. So the word Sada does not leave any room for speculation. So Krishna's names must be chanted, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's glories must be sung all the time. So actually, we should make a pledge that actually in this world, we should never discuss any other matters, but to glorify the Lord, or Lord Chaitanya's mission. And if you want to keep this mission alive, we have to actually act according to those instructions. And to become actually a bold speaker, he said the determination is very, very important. To the degree one is actually determined, he can be to that level, he can be fearless and can able to speak a truth, which is very, very actually means important point. Unless you are determined and unless you have firm conviction and you don't have any hidden motives, it's very hard to speak the actual truth boldly. So because as you mentioned, people who actually try to maintain their own position, they will always try to flatter other people for their own benefit. So that's actually some of the points that actually I understood, what he was saying in terms of preaching and how to actually preach effectively to the ordinary people. So thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Srila. Thank you very much. Yes, it is said that even Srila Prabhupada were very bold preacher. And in the same way, Prabhupada would also preach. For some reason, it has become a little watered down, for Prabhupada. It's just for us to see that Prabhupada keeps calling everybody rascal, to know that how bold a preacher Srila Prabhupada were. So he's our main hero, whom we follow, whom we understand. And we can just do our best in trying to broadcast his message. It's so important in this world. So I was very happy that our Radhastami festival that we did, we had the whole congregation who was non-Indian, who did not know about Radharani. And it is so blessing, such a big blessing that even for Shukadeva Goswami, he did not utter the word Radharani directly. So, but to Prabhupada's mercy, it is his spelling. And as Srila Prabhupada said, we are preaching only because our Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur said, we are preaching. Otherwise, because of him only we are doing it. Yeah. So very nice. We're very happy with all your nice activities and preaching with you, your wife, and your daughter. And we hope we've got a lot of expectations from all of you. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. But I think it's very what I was thinking on this instruction, and because we are trying to actually preach and we want people to come in, that is the most important thing, that we should always speak a bold truth. We should not try to speak in such a way just to please them. Or so that is very, very important, Prabhuji. It's very hard to do. People sometimes do not like the actually bitter truth. But I think that is the way the preaching goes, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. So we have to be a little palatable also at the same time. But generally, a sadhu is a mirror. It's just like a mirror, sadhu. A mirror does not speak lies. Mirror, how am I? How do I look? Big, fat, and ugly. Hare Krishna. Right.
Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. I was just talking to a devotee in Janmashtami this year. I think you all were there as well, sitting. I said that there's no point in following those kind of leaders. Like you find many big preachers, Bhagavad, and big kirtankars, and they are 40 years old, 40 plus and all, and their all hair are black, It's impossible. It is impossible. We know under the black hair, so white hair comes, like this. And they want to look young, So what are they preaching, man? And they say, I'm preaching, I bring so many devotees, they sing big, big kirtans, and you require a big audience to sing your big, big kirtans. You're not singing in front of 2 people, which we do, in preaching. Nobody comes, you preach to the wall. You sing to the wall, sing to one person who comes. And I've been told so many times, it has happened so many times that to encourage devotees who are coming to the program, we'll give them some kartal or something to play, and they would play the wrong beats, loudly and all that. I tell them it slowly. But then there's other people who are not in preaching, but they are seniors. They say, take it away. They take it away from him, the devotee, the kartals. They are playing too and disturbing and all that. I remember it happened once, and the devotee became, ultimately he left us, but anyway, he became a little morose, But next time also he was playing, this devotee took the kartal away. So I took it back and bring it back to him. Don't worry about it, So they think I'm Adolf Hitler. They don't understand. They're destroying my preaching. They don't understand that. But they understand that I gave the kartal back to this devotee. See how it is. And such devotees are chanting and preaching individually, one of programs for unlimited lifetime better than me. And they're such nice preachers, Shastric knowledge. And this has happened, you see. So I remember once we had one devotee who could not read. He was not Indian, he was Japanese, and he was struggling with words, So we said, okay, now you read, and now you read. We'll do that way. So he was reading and one word and 2 words and all that. So afterwards, one very senior devotee, he's a preacher too. You all also know him very, very well. Told me, don't make him read. It's not very enlivening to read and all that. But then this, in a way, that's right. In a way, that is wrong. All I was doing was encouraging this devotee to pick up Bhagavad Gita and read. The whole idea is that only, isn't it? The whole idea of book distribution is to give Bhagavad Gita and say, now read. And here we're doing it. The same people are distributing to the whole world. And this person is making them realize, sit down, you give prasadam, and you read. He has never read Bhagavad Gita. He is not understanding this. And he was reading and said, don't make him read. I didn't do it. I made him read. So again, it would go back to the world and say, the Ambrish is Adolf Hitler. So I got a name, Adolf Hitler. But they don't understand what we are trying to achieve. And I can tell you, with true honesty and humility, they are light years ahead of me in devotional service. I accept them as my seniors, but this is how they would do it. It's wrong. It is wrong. So I would now keep quiet, our mouth is shut, but we do this always, quietly. And we take the blame. We have never gone and fought with anybody to say, you're wrong, you don't understand what we're trying to achieve. We don't say such things. I say, no problem. On my back, everybody speaks, Nobody's got to come and speak to me in front of me. Because they know, ultimately they know. And when I called the person, we had 20 years celebration last year. I was so happy, you couldn't believe it. They said, it will not happen only. About 20 years. It only last, not even 2 years, 2 months. What 2 months? 2 weeks, They would wait like this. It won't last. It's too hot-headed, strong-headed, not hot-headed, strong-headed, and all that. 20 years have gone by in their strong-headedness. And I'm also surprised. They are not surprised. Even I'm surprised. Why is it going on? I don't understand. Because true, I'm hot-headed. I'm strong-headed, no doubt. But there's method to madness. This is very important. So that is what Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur Prabhupada will always say. And I found very similar. Prabhupada done the same thing. And I found the same mood in Maharaj. The same mood in Maharaj. So say, you don't worry, you continue. No. Like one devotee, Prabhupada disciple in Japan, So this devotee was sidelined for everywhere. He was an American. So they just sidelined him. They played politics and put him away. Prabhupada said they are doing it wrong. How can they demonize one devotee like this? and gang up against him. This is not Vaishnava etiquette. This is all wrong. So this is what he said, Prabhupada, they say I have no quality. I have to do anything. And it's true, Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, why? You can make nice samosas. That is best quality. Prabhupada told him, He's like, yeah, good. Cook samosa for Krishna and distribute it. Best quality. What do these people know? And Prabhupada talking about, Srila Prabhupada were at the time talking about his big GBCs and all that, at the time. So what do they know? They are marginalizing one devotee like this. You can make nice samosas. You're best. Go and do that. So that's it. You can do anything in Krishna's service. If Krishna wants to accept, he'll accept. If Krishna doesn't want to accept, he'll not accept. Remember this point. And no matter how much hard you try, it will not work. So our integrity and honesty is very critical part. Do not judge other people. Be very busy in our preaching, our activities. And the way to not judge other people is to become very busy in our activities. When we are very busy within our activities, then we have no business to look at this person is doing that person is doing that. But when we are free, we jump around. This is wrong, that is right, this is this, this is that, or what nonsense. So we are my whole idea is that I become busy, and for that all of you become busy. Everyone is busy. We could be very busy. Die busy only. Death will come and say, no, not now. Give me 1 minute, please. I want to finish this particular post, and then I'll come. Haribol, I'll wait for you. You don't have to wait for me. I'll wait for you. Give me 1 minute. And they'll wait for you. If Krishna wants, death will wait for you. If Krishna doesn't want, death will not wait for you. You'll be finished immediately. Both ways are good enough. It's not that it's waiting means good enough. No, it's not waiting is also very good. You can remember Krishna very nicely. So that's it. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Very nice. Hare Krishna. Who would like to be next, please?
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you, Sanjeev Prabhu, and thank you, Srila Prabhu, for your very nice realizations. My realization is from the Transcendental, from our Hare Krishna weekend group, and it's on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse 18. So I'll just read the Sanskrit and I'll read the translation. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Swapakecha Panditaha Samadarshinaha Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Swapakecha Panditaha Samadarshinaha Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Swapakecha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Word for synonyms by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vidya, with education. Vinaya, and gentleness. Sampanne, fully equipped. Brahmane, in the Brahmana. Gavi, in the cow. Hastini, in the elephant. Suni, in the dog. Cha, and. Eva, certainly. Swapake, in the dog eater, in brackets the outcast. Cha, respectively. Panditaha, those who are wise. Samadarshinaha, who see with equal vision. With education and gentleness, fully equipped in the Brahmana, in the cow, in the elephant, in the dog, and certainly in the dog eater. Respectively, those who are wise, who see with equal vision. So, from the word synonyms, the word that struck out to me was samadarshana, which is who see with equal vision. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater, in brackets outcast. So I was meditating on this verse for a little while, and one of the things that struck out to me was this idea of equality. Now, we've discussed about equality in our classes before, and we've established how on the material plane there is no equality. We see that there is inequality everywhere in this material world, whether it be humans, whether it be animals, whether it be anything. People are born rich, people are born poor. Even there is gender inequality as well in terms of roles that a man has and a role that a woman has. There's inequality in terms of animals. You have animals that are predators and you have animals that are prey. But Srila Prabhupada here and Lord Krishna is talking about equality on the spiritual platform. And so I was meditating on this verse, and for those of us who are practicing Krishna consciousness, it's very important, at least for me, to understand, what equal vision is, because in a material world full of inequality, it's very easy to get fall into that trap. But if we see all living entities, and not just humans, but all living entities as spirit souls, then we understand that we're all unified. That's one aspect to it, that we see every entity as a spirit soul. But also, we also understand through philosophy that the Paramatma, or Lord Krishna, resides in everyone's heart, not just the heart of a human being, not just the heart of a person from a certain ethnicity, or etc., etc. Lord Krishna resides in the heart of everyone, and that's regardless of one's so-called caste, regardless of age, regardless of what living entity you are. And so that understanding is very, very important in the way that we deal with people. And this is what Srila Prabhupada, this is what I realized, that this is what Srila Prabhupada really, really wanted to bang home about, that this non-sectarianism of Krishna consciousness, this is actually what it means, that we are all part and parcel of the Lord. That's number one. Number two, and the Lord is in all of our hearts. And so when we go to the spiritual world, all these bodily conceptions of life, or when we act on the spiritual plane, all these bodily conceptions of life don't matter. Whatever inequality is there materially, once we act in devotional service, there's no such inequality. We see that everyone has an opportunity and has access to perform devotional service and establish their own relationship with Lord Krishna. It doesn't have to even relate to or pertain to human beings as well. We see that a lot of animals have also devotional service too. And everyone has their own journey in going back to Godhead. So this point is quite revolutionary, because even in religious institutions, we do see a lot of examples of inequality. For example, in the Christian institutions and in Islam as well, a lot of them are not vegetarian, so they eat animals. They eat other living entities. They don't accept, or I don't know about Islam, but I know in Christianity, they don't accept that animals have consciousness. And so that in itself is where our Sanatana Dharma and what Srila Prabhupada has propagated everywhere around the world, that is what that understanding is on a higher level, on a higher platform. Because we understand that, if all of us are created by the Lord, then how is it possible that, we have certain things, we have the right to take, away the rights of other living entities? And the fact that they believe that animals don't have consciousness is also flawed, because an animal eats, we eat, an animal sleeps, we sleep, an animal mates, we mate, an animal defends and we defend as well. so these were sort of some of the points that I was thinking, that actually this equality doesn't only pertain to human beings, it pertains to the entire 8,400,000 species of life. And we have all gone through all these species of life in our journey going back home to Godhead. And so, in whatever circumstance that a person is in, we should have, or I should have, the understanding that actually, we are not, we're not different, or we're not, I'm not better than you, or you're not better than me. That we're all children of, Lord Krishna. And we also see in ISKCON as well, and in any, not even ISKCON, just people who are following Krishna consciousness, and people who are following, Srila Prabhupada's message, that people from all walks of life are practicing Krishna consciousness. We have people from New Zealand, we have people from India, people from various ethnicities, from various backgrounds, etc. But everyone is together performing devotional service. And in that, there is no inequality too. And so that is what this equal vision is, that we should, see everyone come to that understanding that everything in this material world, every living entity, is a part and parcel of the Lord. And the Lord is residing as Paramatma in their heart. And so we should act accordingly. And I was also reminded of some of the instructions by Srila Gurudev as well, that, even when we deal interpersonally with other people, we tend to forget this, that, Krishna, or that they are, equal in terms of they're also spirit souls, just as we are. And so we may get angry with other people, or we may, in that way, we are not actually accepting, this actual equal plane, or this equal vision, because again, we're acting on a material platform. So it's very, very easy for to think that, we are all on the same level. We should see everyone with equal vision. But in day-to-day activities, it can get very, very difficult and very confronting as well. So for me personally, my realization is that, for me, it's very, very important to understand, that whoever I'm dealing with, and whatever circumstance, is not to get complacent in my own position, and also to, try and see everything with equal vision, which will help me in my Krishna consciousness, both interpersonally and also in the broader range of understanding as well. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Krishnadas, for a nice realization. Yes. I would like to, there's like a small class, That's good. That's good. Youngsters are taking interest. It's very nice. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Hare Krishna, Amrisho, and thank you, Amrisho and family, for holding the flag, for keeping us engaged. And it takes time for us to change. Yeah, it takes time. It's not easy. It's a journey. As long as we are part of journey and making progress, I think Amrisho has told that just showing up is also a progress. And showing us up on time is big progress. So I would like to start by one post Amrish Prabhu has posted in the beginners group about Maharaj Melos. Atheistic means a person who does not believe in God. We're angry means things are not according to our wish. But everything is happening under the control of the Lord. Then where is the question of becoming angry? Still, if you are angry, that means we are not accepting the authority of the God. It means we are atheistic. Every time when we become angry, we must think we are atheistic. His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj. So this is a simple thing which I have read many times. I keep reading and keep realizing. and still long way to go. Now, as Sridhar Prabhu and we are all engaged in so-called preaching activities, trying to talk to devotees and trying to, so probably we speak what we are actually doing, what is top of our mind. So that's probably I'm going to share. And so that's, maybe it's not a realization, but that's what's happening. So Amrish Prabhu was just saying that there were in 20 years, 20 years and half, 6 months, there were 2 or classes or 3 classes where nobody showed up. So I had that experience just now. We have started Prabhu a couple of more classes. I don't know whether I told you or not. And there is a Hindi class we are doing today at 3 o'clock, and nobody showed up. I said, okay. So that's Krishna's plan. So, and one of them actually excused, the rest of them said, okay, we don't need to tell. And there are many devotees in Nagpur who are actually not able to come to this Sunday program because they're doing NCC as we discussed. So they had a class yesterday, not on Friday morning. And then they had a class yesterday online with only young devotees like Divyanshi Mataji and Prabhu, actually getting them through our posts. So I don't know what they did, but that keeps us busy. Now, sharing my realization on this. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, verse number 15. I'll go straight to the translation. Austerity of speech consists in speaking truthfully and beneficially, and in avoiding speech that offends. One should also recite the Vedas regularly. That is Krishna telling Arjuna in chapter 17 that austerity of speech consists in speaking truthfully and beneficially. And in avoiding speech that offends, one should also recite the Vedas regularly. And I fully agree with what we have been discussing before, that it becomes harder when you have to tell the truth, because you don't know what that devotee is going to do. So when we talk to younger devotees, I say, don't worry. If somebody doesn't like the truth, probably they don't belong here. Because the crux of the matter is to be part of Hare Krishna weekend, and what I have been told and what I have been trained and how I have grown up is truthful and honesty are the major factor. If without truthfulness and honesty, we cannot probably please them, because hypocrisy is probably we just don't know what to do with these people. So I was thinking about austerity. Actually, that is an austerity. What your speech consists in speaking truthfully and beneficially, of course, tactfully, and in avoiding speech that offends. One should also recite the Vedas regularly. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, which actually Maharaj keeps telling us, and I've heard this many times. So when speaking in spiritual circles, one's statement must be upheld by the scriptures. One should at once quote from scripture authority to back up what he's saying. At the same time, such talk should be very pleasurable to the ear. I don't know how to do that. By such discussion, one may derive the highest benefit and elevate human society. There is a limitless stock of Vedic literature, and one study this. This is called penance of speech. And I think this is also austerity of mind also. So this is a penance of speech. So learning truthfully is actually an austerity. That's what I was thinking about. And I've read this verse before also. And I thought, okay, this is a good point. And this is to re-emphasize what we try to practice in whatever way we know. So my relation is that preaching, as we discussed, is for us, not for the audience. Because we have to study, we have to prepare, we have to understand. And since people are going to follow you, so you have to know how to behave and what to do and what not to do. So preaching is is only for self-improvement. That's what I understand, and that keeps coming back to my mind, that this is why we preach. We are not preaching to actually show off that how many people actually doing it, what people are not doing it, who is listening to me, who is not following me, who is doing this argument. That's not the business. Business is what we just discussed. We have a topic, we prepare from this, we have some verses to share, keep it focused and keep it simple. And I think that's an austerity. The second experience, which I always have, because I have a tendency to talk to new people, and most of the time they say no, which I don't care. And sometimes I also talk to people, and they keep giving me many arguments about their realization. And that's where this kind of association, because when we are conducting the Saturday class and we are reading some verses from Gita and Bhagavatam, so our realization, when we study those verses with the devotees, and when we discuss, I think we realize differently than what we actually study and read ourselves on our own. That's what we are experienced yesterday. So it's very important that we keep it focused and take advantage of association as much as possible, and stick to the basics. So that's my relation, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So congratulations to you. Now you joined the exclusive club of people who follow Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's preaching program, where they say preaching is so important that if nobody comes, preach to the walls. So that's what it is. Simple as that. If they don't come, it is their misfortune. What can we do? We are sitting in New Zealand. They are sitting in India. Somehow we are connected to them. We are connecting ourselves. They did not come searching for you. You went searching for them. Then you gave them some information. You've got your people who are in touch with them, your devotees, your team members. You're encouraging them to say, you need more information, talk to me, I'm ready to meet. You're going there, doing this. So they don't come, no problem. All glories to them for their NCC work, or whatever it is good. It's important also to be there, doing that. There's no harm. But important thing is to continue, and that is seen by Krishna. Our work is done, as Maharaj would say. By being there, our work is done. So all glories to your service. Hare Krishna.
Yes, bro. You taught me very early stage when I was coming to your home on Wednesday. Process is an end, and that same message I passed on to these young devotees. Yes. Same message as it is. No addition, no deletion, and no subtraction.
Yes. And Maharaj, this is what Guru Maharaj is saying.
Yes. And I tell them that this is your responsibility, what to do with this. It's your problem.
Jai, Jai.
And this Sunday devotees, Prabhu, this actually they are not connected to path yet. And so I'm independent of path. So that's why I'm struggling to get them together. But hopefully things work out.
Yeah, it's up to them. It is in Krishna's hand also. It's up to them too, We are here, we are doing our best. Now it's up to them to get connected. And I can tell you, those who get connected will be very happy. They'll find peace immediately. But not connected, they'll still struggle here, there, jumping around politics and this and that. Prabhupada's movement is actually for it's a holistic movement where you get opportunity to look at life as a whole and where you fit in and how you're in it and out of it. So you're doing your best. Keep doing your best. All the best. Hare Krishna. To you and to your wife. Hare Krishna. Saraswati Mata. Wonderful. Okay. Hare Krishna. Who would like to be next?
You are in mute, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So we all finished then. Or is Navina wants to say something? Navina, you're doing your realization today?
No, I don't have any.
You don't have any realization.
I really
Oh.
don't. My
Okay.
parents didn't told me that it was realization class today.
Oh, then you should join our WhatsApp group then. You'll get messages from us every day. But for that, you require a mobile, which you don't have. Yeah, you're too small for a mobile. You should not have mobile now. Okay? So that's all right. No problem. You can hear us, You can hear and learn. Very nice. All the best to you. Hare Krishna. Okay, who would like to go next? This is a chance to impress, to show, and to tell us. This is we consider this self-realization program as very, very important program. Yeah, for everyone's benefit, including ours.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for your very nice, wonderful realizations. I'm just going to read one quote from the this is from sorry. So this is from the purport of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse 17, which was shared in our Hare Krishna weekend group. The supreme transcendental truth is Lord Krishna. The whole Bhagavad Gita centers around the declaration of Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. That is the version of all Vedic literature. So it's a very small sentence in the whole purport, but it is a very powerful sentence. And this is our underlying Krishna consciousness, accepting Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead. So I'd like to share a little story that Srila Prabhupada said in one of his lectures. And this was, I don't know, many of you must have probably heard about it. It was very interesting how Srila Prabhupada put the importance of Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. So in Srimad Bhāgavatam, also there is a reference that, if you water the roots of the tree, then the whole tree gets the nutrients. So you don't have to water each and every part separately. And similarly, when we eat, we just eat and everything goes in our stomach, but we don't have to feed our hands and our eyes separately. So in that context, Srila Prabhupada was saying that once what happened was all these different parts of the body, the hands and the legs, and they were all thinking that, we are doing all this hard work. And the stomach, is getting all the benefit. Just sitting there doing nothing. We are running up, we're eating, we're using the hand to eat, the mouth is, doing all the activity, and all the benefit is going to the stomach. This is not, good. We should do a strike. So they decided to do a strike, that we are not going to feed the stomach anymore. And so when that happened, after some days, then the hands and the limbs and all the body parts started to feel very weak. So they had Srila Prabhupada said they had a meeting, to decide that we should go on strike. And so then when they went on strike, then after that this happened, that all the body parts started to feel weak. And so they said, okay, now let's have another meeting. Why are you feeling all this weakness and everything? So that they came to this realization that now that's because we're not feeding the stomach, So we should now, this is our service, we should do it. We should serve. So in the same mode, Srila Prabhupada said, it was very nicely put, I think, that, you have to realize that the authority of Krishna in your life, that if you deny it, then also still Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no question about it. And Srila Prabhupada also said that we can waste so much time in trying to speculate and trying to give the logic and reasoning and everything. But then there is Shastra, there is Praman, which tells you that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like the Brahma Samhita, where said Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So I found this analogy or explanation very interesting, because sometimes in our preaching activities, it's very hard to, we many times come across people who have so many beliefs, and there is so many, we ourselves also in our personal lives go through so much effort, even whether it be at our work or at our home or in our relationships, everywhere. So much effort is put into trying to please people, and still we see that people are not pleased. No matter what we do, there's like some people get very pleased easily, and some people you just, no matter what you do, they're never pleased. So it can lead to a lot of disappointment. We all have these experiences in our lives, and how much effort then goes about thinking about how we can please everyone. And sometimes in trying to please everyone, you stop pleasing your own self, you're not pleased at all, that also happens. So here's the answer, that instead of trying to please everyone and still come to a point where you're not satisfied and the others are not satisfied, maybe try to please Krishna. So how do we try to please Krishna? What is it that we can do to try to please Krishna? That is the greatest question. And I'm just listening to Srila Gurudev's lecture, His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj. This point came about that we have to realize that we are so minute and we are so insignificant. Once we realize that and realize our real position is to serve Krishna and Krishna's devotees, when we realize that, then it brings us to a humble platform. It's very easy to say, very easily said than done. And often we can get caught up in niyamagraha, we can follow our devotional service, we can do our, we can get up early, do our Mangalarti, we can do our chanting, do our reading, do our other devotional activities, we can do our cooking, this, that, and then you can get caught up in this, and sometimes you can lose the essence. And this is just from my conversation with a few devotees a while ago when we met, saying that, in this ocean, this material world where it's ocean of faults, there is only one good thing. And that good thing is chanting of Krishna's names. So my realization is that I see sometimes that you might be at like everybody is a different level of devotional service in their lives. Sometimes somebody is just starting, and sometimes somebody is just very, very advanced and has reached a level of consciousness. Somebody is trying, and we all are trying. we are all trying at our different levels. And then there are so many difficulties. As Srila Prabhupada says, padam padam shravipada. So many difficulties that we face in our day-to-day life. And then we're trying to keep up sometimes with Krishna consciousness. So, so how do you then keep your consciousness where you always remember Krishna and never forget him too? And how do you then remind yourself every day that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And how do you have that faith that if I please Krishna, then everyone will be pleased? And what do I do so Krishna will be pleased? So there are so many questions. And I think the one answer that points out to this is that if we are very, very sincere, and if we are very sincere in our efforts of Krishna consciousness, and we take everything that is coming our way as the will of the Lord, I think Krishna acknowledges our efforts and makes it easy for us. Sometimes there are so many difficulties, like Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj says that, if there are a lot of difficulties in your life, that means Krishna is interested. So that's a very nice way of looking at it. Also, as Avinash Prabhuji and Prabhuji were mentioning that we had sometimes these classes where there is no one. And I was thinking at that point that in this process, there's no loss or diminution. In a material perspective, if you're organizing an event and if nobody shows up, then it's a failure, so-called. But in Krishna consciousness, that's not the case. So it's such a wonderful process. It's so beautiful. I mean, if you tell somebody that I organized an event and no one came, and yet I got the benefit of it, it is unheard of in the material world. I don't think people will understand what you're actually talking about. But that is so quite possible in the spiritual world. So what I'm trying to achieve by covering all these different points is that sometimes we have I just thought that sometimes I have to keep reminding myself that actually Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada says Krishna is your best friend. No one else can be your best friend. And Srila Prabhupada was asked, what is the definition of humility? And the definition of humility was that people thought Srila Prabhupada will say, oh, you have to be humble and you have to be subservient and this. But Srila Prabhupada's definition was very, very interesting. Srila Prabhupada said that when you realize that no one in this world, not your father, not your mother, not your wife, not your husband, your brother, your sister, your son, your friend, no one can help you except Krishna. That is humility. So, of course, our Guru Shishya Parampara teaches us that, we cannot approach Krishna directly. And as all the devotees have mentioned, you have to always serve the devotees of the devotees of the devotees of Krishna. So that is the key, that no matter what happens and no matter whatever difficulties come, we have so much positive philosophy and so much reality which we have all experienced in Krishna consciousness, that I just see that there is no difficulty at all. The difficulty doesn't appear to be difficulty anymore. So yes, just to keep it short, the best thing I think is that we all have somehow come together and we have the opportunity to serve each other and serve so many other devotees, and that's the beauty, that we are trying to serve the Das Dasanudas, serve the devotees of Lord Krishna, and somehow we can please Krishna and grab his attention. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for a nice realization. I remember two instances, where amongst those situations, for preaching there. One was when once nobody came, I was teaching mantra meditation, and opposite to me is glass rooms, Downstairs, opposite to me, they are teaching yoga, for free. They're all Mayavadis doing it, It was full, packed, Everybody wants to go for gymnastics. I'll do yoga and become fit and all that, But nobody really wants to care. They have no information about the spirit soul. That's why the Vedic age was very nice. Majority were interested in the spirit soul business. Here people are interested in the yoga business of the body, It was packed. What to do? Second was, I remember it was a festival in the temple. And I think it was Lord Balaram's appearance day or something. And we had a good event. And then all devotees were tired, And we had a big feast. We were all having big feast, And after that, everyone was saying, what will I do now? People will say, I will do here, I will go here and all that. And I was suddenly thinking, and I said, I also want to go home and go to sleep, And I have to go now, pick up my bags and start a program, And who knows if everybody will come or not, And I remember these two instances very, very well. Very, very well. It's for all my benefit. I'm just sharing it so that, I encourage every one of you not to be disheartened by number of people coming or not coming. If I had stopped then, we would not have been here. Yes, we would have been here. Krishna's work doesn't stop. Somebody else would have done it. I would have lost the opportunity of serving and purifying myself. Krishna's work never stops. Never stops. There are unlimited living beings who are willing to do Krishna's work. So why don't we do it? Jai. Hare Krishna. Yes, please continue.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Amrish Prabhu, for organizing this self-realization class. Actually, I'm not very good at sharing the realization, but I will try my best. Thank you all the devotees for sharing your realization. My realization is from one of the transcendental Melo, which is shared by long time from Amrish Prabhu. The Shastras, scriptures says, Gate shoko na kartavyaha. The time which has passed, gone, don't lament about it. However, we lament, but we cannot achieve anything. That time has gone. Then he says that, Bhavishyam na chintayet. For the future, we don't worry. Just vartamaneshu kaleshu pravartante. Just vartamaneshu kaleshu pravartante vichakshanaha. Those who are vichakshana, those who are intelligent, they only use the vartaman, the present tense, and their future is taken care of. And their time is not wasted in the past tense. This is the instruction. And past tense in Sanskrit is known as bhutakala. Bhutakala means those who remember past tense and behave on that. They always talk about the past tense. So they are talking as if they are haunted by bhuta or by ghost. There are people who talk nonsense. They are haunted by ghosts. So the past tense people, they are like that. His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudev. So I was just going through the old emails and I got this transcendental mirror and I was thinking about it. And then how it's really very straightforward that instruction is that you should not waste your time what happened before. So when we think that how nice these young devotees are in our class, and then they are so fortunate, they are starting their devotional service in very young age, and then we started very late. But then this is instruction for me. Don't think that now, whatever I have now, I can still do it. Something is better than the nothing. And then I remember when I was very young, we were at the college, maybe 11th, 12th standard. And then my sister used to read the Bhagavad Gita. Somebody told her, read one chapter in the morning. And I used to tease her, this is not for us, we are still young. We gonna do that when we are old, like our grandmother and all they do. And now I realize how wrong I was. And because the time has gone, I did not study with her, or I didn't read with her. And now also nowadays we are also very busy in our material life as well, and sometimes it's hard to catch up our chanting as well. And sometimes like it's too time or late night, and then can I do my few rounds tomorrow? And then tomorrow also I have to finish 16 rounds plus yesterday's, and then we don't have the time. So we always pray in children they pray whatever work we have to do. Whereas in our prayer we says, if something's due tomorrow, finish it today, and what is due today, do it now, don't delay. So it's very nice Maharaj's instruction in here. Also Maharaj another transcendental Melo says that going to the bed is our hand, but waking up is in Krishna's hand. So we should do now whatever we have, and don't think about the future, because whatever we doing, Krishna will taken care of, as this transcendental Melo says. So for me, it is really important that do not spend today's time and do not waste today's time for doing any other stuff, and utilize it for Krishna's service. And make the most of it. It happens same in our material life as well. Like whatever we are going to do, we are thinking to do next day, but it's good if we finish it today and we are ready for the next day. So that is my realization from this transcendental Melo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mother, for nice realization. So did you give somebody punishment, or you let a person go on your jury duty? It's confidential.
Confidential.
Yeah, but you don't have to tell the name,
Yeah.
We all run away from jury duty, compulsory jury duty. Otherwise, we get it also at the wrong timing, to go and perform jury duty. So good you went there. It's very nice,
Yeah, I asked for excuse. I asked judge for excuse. So I thought if I ask excuse and they give me excuse, and then I don't need to go again. But he said, no, you have to stay here. I should be the backup. And they said, you have to come tomorrow again. I said, oh no, if I would have taken today's one, I might have finished in next 2 days. But then they said me go. I again choose the next day again. But not in the jury. In 12, they choose 35 first, and among 35, they choose another 12 jury service. So in third day, I was really praying to the Krishna, I hope they will not choose. And then third day did not choose me, and they let me go. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you did not perform actually jury duty there?
No, Prabhuji, I did not.
Okay. No, that's all right. That's all right. Good. All the best to you. We should do wherever we can, Okay.
But I was thinking about the time, and then office.
Yes. I'm also a big culprit on I've never gone to jury duty. I give all kinds of excuses. My head is spinning and my back is spinning, and I cannot do it. My job is there, business is there, and go to India and all whatnot things. Okay. All the best.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So who would like to go next now? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible? 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 Am I audi I would like to share my realization on a very good incident which was shared in Hare Krishna Weekend group by you. It was related to Amaya Yatma Prabhu's 2022 offering to Srila Prabhupada. And when I read that, it was so enriching for me. It was very nice realization given by Amaya Prabhu. And actually, I wanted to read something in that uh, realization, which actually stuck me. It was about his wife uh, when his wife passed away, and she was uh, actually when after that he got this dream that his wife is actually in the in Krishna Lok, or she's actually gone to uh, back home to Godhead. And when he saw that dream, he write this. Then that a week later she left. She appeared in my dream, where she gave me a message and asked that I tell others. The message she wanted me to tell is this: she was a very simple devotee. She never held any position. She was not in charge of any project, yet she wanted not just me but others to know that she is being taken back home, back to Godhead. And the next paragraph is actually what I want to elaborate on. What she wanted me to tell everyone was that the program that was taught us, Srila Prabhupada work, all we have to do is follow the simple program that you have so kindly given us. Just chant our 16 rounds daily, read our books, and render the service to Krishna in form of his deity. To render service to you, Srila Prabhupada, Krishna's pure devotee, we don't have to become a big important devotee. We don't have to be in charge of this or that, or have followers, or to be famous. This, if that becomes our service to you and Krishna, then fine. We carry it out in the same way as we clean our temple floor, wash our Krishna's pot, and etc. So when I was reading this Prabhuji, I was so amazed by this fact that actually we give ourselves so much of importance in this life. And like as Mataji said, we are always in the pleasing ceremony to please others, and always in the rush to how to be important, how to be the limelight seeker. At least I am the one. How to be important, how to be the intelligent amongst everybody, because uh, and the way Krishna deals with your life is so interesting that I realized when I was opting for my post graduation, I was selected by the most famous college in Mumbai. And when I not opted for that and decided to stay back at my hometown, and then when anybody who called me, and I was like, I really choose not to go there. But I got selected there, but I choose not to go there. And I was like, oh my goodness, that was actually my ego which is talking. And which is and that is so important. When we realize this, you need to be not just say that you are humble, but you need to be humble. And that is humble humility is the part of that process. And when you realize that you don't need to do something very extraordinary, and you don't need to be something uh, like very famous personality to serve Krishna or to please Krishna. Krishna is pleased by ordinary people who have this attitude of service, pure. And one line which was said to me yesterday was very profound, that you don't need to be perfect, you need to be pure in devotional service. Because what is the standard of being perfect? Actually, it's not being perfect, but being pure in whatever you do. To at least to please Krishna, not to please the material people, because in every realm of your life, these people will going to make you open up your mouth and say that, yeah, I am this and that, and I have this degree or this qualification or this skills, right? As Mataji, it was so spot on that you have to please everybody in this material world. But to please Krishna, you don't need to make things complicated. You don't need to make things extraordinary. You can be simple. You can just follow the process, but with sincerity and honesty. And that, what I realized was so profound, that in this realization also, Prabhuji is claiming that my wife wasn't a very profound lady, but she was doing her devotional service with purity and with less of ego. And that is what is attracting to Krishna and his pure devotees. So, and then, um, yeah, I realized that you don't need to complicate things. I have this problem of making things much complicated at my mind, and then doing things. But yeah, you don't need to do that. Even if you are like, if even if I teach people, I teach students, but I often find that in that teaching process, I learn a lot, because uh, when you actually teach, you I always feel that some or the other way I was satisfying my ego, that I am in a good position now, I can say things to people, they'll only listen to me. And and that is what is important when you are when we are having we were having this Saturday class. Avinash Prabhu told us that that is very good thing to be dependent. That is very good thing to be under somebody who can teach you, can scold you, can tell you that what is right or what is wrong. And that is where you find yourself improving. If there is nobody, then we are in our realm of, yeah, I'm always right, and so on. So that is what it was. It was very profound, Roji, what I felt after reading that realization. And when I was seeing one of the Prabhupada's lecture, it was like it actually it's very simple process, but we are not in the mood of accepting that. We are in the mood of accepting the bogus, because it is taught to us to accept the bogus. It is the way that has we have born and brought up, and our surrounding is so that we are always in the competition to accept the bogus and accept the complicated things, and then render the complicated things. We are not in this uh, we are not taught to how to make things simplified and be simple as we are, because people want things to be complicated, and then we are also learning the same. But yeah, uh, with this realization, I shall make my life more simpler and keep things as pure as it could be, not to rush to make myself perfect all the time, or to, yeah, of course perfection is needed, but to not to the extent that I lose my purity in that perfection, in that nitty-gritty. So yeah, so that's my short realization, what I felt.
Very nice, Mother. Perfection versus purity. Very nice. Purity always wins. Very nice. And yes, Avinash, you did mention to me about your choice your choice of staying at home with your parents. I'm sure your father and mother will be very happy having their daughter with them. Very nice. We wish you all the success in your future career also. And yes, I mean, sometimes if you're given the opportunity and you chose not to go, then there's no harm in telling people. There's no harm in telling people. Otherwise, how will they know? And so your choice was to remain here to be with your parents, and you never know whom you are inspiring. But internally, we should be very careful. We don't do it for our own pride. That is very important. Outside, people are going to misunderstand anything. You say something and they understand like this. You're saying this, but they understand that way. This is how the world is. But internally, we should be pure in our thinking. So we don't need all those things. All glories. Very nice. All the best to you. Yes, who would like to go next?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. There were already nice realizations for all the devotees. Very inspiring to hear. My realization is on one of the posts shared by Amrish Prabhu on the wecan group. I'll just quickly read it. Don't try to defy Krishna's arrangements. We should give up all our tiny efforts to defy the arrangement of Krishna. Instead, whatever arrangements he proposes, we should accept. This is always better, for this will make us happy. The more we try to defeat the arrangement of Krishna, the more we become implicated in Krishna's Maya. Devi hi esha gurumai, mama maya duratara. But one who has reached the point of surrendering to the instructions of Krishna, mam-mvg prapadyanti, is liberated, free from Krishna Maya, mayam etam taranti. Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 verse 14. This verse was very, very interesting to me because I was thinking that it's so difficult for, like, from a general point of view, it's so difficult to let go of our propensity to control things and to control situations, to plan out things so elaborately and then be exhausted by those plans. We're always trying to mentally concoct what in any given circumstance we should do, or what plans we should make for our future or for our career. And it's so exhausting to make all these plans in our own head. And it's so difficult to let go of all these plans and all these arrangements and just to simply accept that Krishna has a plan for us all. And that's not to say that, of course, that you don't carefully plan out the things in your life, yes, but it's so difficult to be open to the possibility that Krishna has a better plan for us, and that whatever we have in our mind, it's probably not the best way to go ahead. And other than this, I was also thinking that what are some other ways in which we are defying Krishna's arrangements. And I was thinking about this, that every time that we're not following Krishna's instructions, that we're not following the rules and regulations of devotional service, that we're not following the ABCs of bhakti, that we're not following the process that has laid down to us by Srila Prabhupada, that is also defying Krishna's arrangement. Because if you don't constantly keep in touch with all these things, it's so difficult to stay grounded in devotional service, because we always say that if you give even the tiniest wiggle room to Maya, it will wiggle in. It will always find that space to wiggle in. The moment you let go, the moment you become just a little negligent in whatever you're doing, it will find some place to mess with in your life. And this one point has been brought up so many times in the past week, that it's so convenient to blame Maya, that it's Maya Duratya. It's very convenient to say that Maya is very powerful. I'm always consumed by Maya, but we don't say that. Avinash Prabhu and Amrish Prabhu, both of them mentioned this point, that our free will is stronger than Maya. We just so carefully, so conveniently, we just take a backseat and be like, oh, it's Maya. Maya is so difficult to overcome, but we don't take responsibility for our actions. We don't see that whatever we're doing, it's a result of our own will and our own desires. Because this is a very common saying, that whenever there is a will, there is a way, right? And if you don't want to do something, you won't do it. And if you want to do something, you'll find out to do it. It's just as simple as that, and we're unnecessarily complicating it. We keep making the same mistakes again and again, and we always blame it on Maya Devi, but it's not right. it's our own responsibility. It's our own responsibility to do the right thing and to constantly keep in touch with Krishna. And it's a very nice point that Amrish mentioned in the beginning of the class, that we should keep ourselves so busy with these activities that we should not have the time to think about all this nonsense. That we should be so engaged in Krishna conscious activities, in our own prescribed duties, in the things that we're supposed to do, that we should not have the time to let our mind wander around. And it's also another thing that I was thinking, that yes, our free will is stronger than Maya, but to actually exercise the power of that free will, we need to be so confident in what Prabhupada has taught us, and in what our scriptures say, and to follow the process. And that's the only way that we can actually exercise the strength of our free will against Maya. Our free will is stronger than Maya, but we need to, that is the training that we need to constantly keep in touch with those scriptures to maintain our purity. And also I remember this one point that your good character is your only wealth. This Amrish Prabhu said this, that your good character is your only wealth. Everything else will be taken away from you. And I think that's such a powerful point. And to maintain that purity, we need to really realize that the reins are in our own hands. They are not anywhere else. It's only in our own actions and in our own decisions. And everything else are just a bunch of excuses that we're making to just kind of take a backseat in our own lives. And yeah, I think this one point, that continuity means progress, that it's not some ecstasy, it's not some divine realization that you will get. It's just to keep grounded. That's the only way to actually overcome the ill effects of Maya, or to exercise the full strength of our free will, that we're really confident about the process that we're following, that we're in the right place, that we're very fortunate to be in the right place, and to know what the right thing to do is. And yeah, I think that's all that I was thinking about. This one point that was mentioned by Avinash Prabhu a lot at the time, that your free will is stronger than the Maya. That's something that I feel really needs to be deep rooted in our hearts, that we have to be held accountable for whatever we're doing, and there is no making excuses with that. So yeah, I think that's what Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mother. Very nice. See, remember this, Maya is very, very strong. So it's Krishna's external potency. We are very marginal. So we are nobody as compared to her and her potencies, her strength. She serves in the half of Krishna. But we have a choice to be engaged in Krishna's service. And she influences us completely. We are helpless when she influences us, 100%. But I can tell you one thing, if you really, really want, we can really pray to Krishna with all this adversities against us, And so when that happens, Krishna, then your Maya will be overpowering me, as it I'm giving you the strength to remember you. That prayer we can do when we are not overpowered by Maya, right? So that's the meaning, that free will is powerful than Maya. Otherwise, free will living being has got no capacity against Maya. Really. Impossible to fight against Maya. We cannot, we immediately surrender, So yeah, that's nice. That's nice. All the best to you. Yes, who would like to be the next?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I just would like to clarify, Divyanshi, that this is what I heard from Amrish Prabhu. I have nothing to say that I told you like this. This was Amrish Prabhu who told me and I passed on. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I would like to share my realization. Thank you, Amrish Prabhu. Thank you, Avinash. Thank you, everyone, for your wonderful realization. And thank you for giving such a wonderful platform where devotees can come and share realizations and we can all learn and grow. So Prabhu, on the beginners group, you wrote a message about what did you learn in the past 6 weeks. Well, there's been so many classes, it gets confusing what we learned in what class. But overall, yeah, overall, Prabhu, if I were to say the top 4 things, like I was trying to make it top 3, but then it just somehow turned out to be top 4. So the top 4 things, Prabhu, that I learned, not learned, number 1 that I'm going to share, I'm still in the process of learning it, but at least I'm happy that I've started to realize it, is that Krishna is a person. That is the number 1 thing that I'm on the, started to kind of realize that Krishna is a person. And I don't know, I'm maybe it's a very beginner thing, but it is something that I've started realizing. Second thing, Prabhu, is how important is association of devotees. And we're reading in Nectar of Instruction about Utsaha, how a devotee had to be utsahit and in devotional service to keep practicing it. And Prabhu, I see that if like in the 7 days that a week, like in a week, the weekend are the most enthusiastic time, I think, for many of the young devotees here, because and I think most of us, that we actually feel that energy starting right from Friday. We have this excitement that okay, in the morning there is this class, then Saturday will be a class, then Saturday again a class, sorry, a realization program, then Sunday again a class. So we all have that excitement, but somehow that just wears down over the week, and then again it recharges, and then again it wears down. So I think it's a process, but I can feel that excitement build up. I can feel that energy that association brings with it. And yeah, that is my second thing. Third thing, Prabhu, which I have realized is that how important is somebody guiding us, somebody holding our hands. We don't realize it initially, but it's very important when there is somebody to guide you, to scold you, to tell you what's right and what's wrong. Because when you're left out alone, then you realize the importance of what it is when what it is to be sheltered. So not that I've been left out alone, but I'm just comparing to my previous situations. So Prabhu, on this same thing, I would want to say that how merciful and compassionate Prabhupada must be, that Prabhupada has written books and which are the law books for the coming 10,000 years, as you say. And it's so profound that maybe we all are not there, but Prabhupada books will be there, and he'll be there to hold our tiny little hands and help us waddle our way to Krishna. So yeah, so that is my third realization, Prabhu. And fourth realization that I had, Prabhu, is that there is a difference that I realized between a wannabe devotee and a try-na-be devotee. Like a wannabe devotee is somebody who's just pretending to be devotee and who's just a wannabe. Like we have this in the management term, we have a wannabe entrepreneur or a wannabe executive who just shows himself or pretends to be an executive but does nothing internally, right? He's hollow inside. And like Intel has this Intel inside. So we should all have hollow inside, you know, or hypocrites inside. And bro, there is a difference between, Prabhu, a try-na-be devotee who's actually trying to be a devotee. He's slowly but surely progressing. He's slowly but surely changing their habits, right? Compared to somebody who, you know, for the initial months comes up every time, wakes up at Mangla time every day, is doing not 16, 32 rounds every day. And then after 1 month, he's gone, right? So it's better that we start slowly. I think this is what you preached, that start slow, but start sure. So this is my fourth thing. And apart from this, I prepared a realization. I hope I'm not taking a lot of time, but I just prepared a realization, Prabhu. On
no, you got all the time. Please continue. You got all the time. Very nice.
So so this was my this was the thing that I was thinking about. I also shared it with the young new devotees that are joining us in our Saturday evening classes, India time. So so Prabhu, so as always, there's the topic. So which I thought is, are we treating our beliefs and our doubts equally? So I'll get to what it actually means. So so in India, most of us, like, we grow up in an environment which fosters belief in scriptures, right? that the Bhagavad Gita is sacred, Bhagavatam is sacred, scriptures are sacred, Vedas are sacred, you should believe in them, this is right, we've been told this when we were young. But over time, we start questioning our faith, we start questioning our beliefs, as in when we start growing up. Is it really true? Like, but in my science class, my teacher told this, that we came from apes. And my mom told me, my mom tells me that Brahmaji created everything, or something like that. And then you're like, no, it's not actually true. How can it be true? They're just talking about a mythical creature named God who we cannot even see, we cannot hear, we cannot blah, blah, blah. So it might not exist. It's just a phenomena. So that thinking comes in us. We start doubting our beliefs, and the circle that we have, the circle encourages us to believe, to doubt our beliefs, because they say that it's a sign of intelligence, that you are actually intelligent. You're not sentimental. You're not fanatic like the rest of them. You're intelligent. You should question your beliefs. And that is absolutely correct, Prabhu. So we see that as sign of intelligence, and appreciating such intelligence. And in fact, intelligence is not wrong. Questioning, I think what I've learned in the classes is intelligence is not wrong. Questioning is not wrong. In fact, the entire Bhagavad Gita, the premise is set by Arjuna's questions, and it is taken forward because Arjun keeps asking questions. And I remember when I was reading Bhagavad Gita initially, Arjun even questions the divinity of Krishna. He's like, when Krishna tells that I gave this knowledge to Ishvaku, then this to sun god, and then it came down and down and down. Arjun says that, how can that be true? You are just like me. How can you be so old that you gave this knowledge billions of years ago to sun god? So he's questioning. So that is the, I think that is the process, it is allowed in our dharma that we can ask questions, we can have intelligent inquiries. But still, the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 4, verse number 40, after it says that, yes, you can question, but it still warns us about the dangerousness of doubting. And I'll just read that shloka once. Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, verse number 40. Ajnanascha shraddha-dhanascha shamshayatma vinashyati nayam lokosti na paro na sukham samshayatmanah. So chapter 4, verse number 40 says this. So the translation is, but ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. They fall down. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. Right? So, so I was thinking, why is such caution needed? Because isn't it all about pariprashnena sevya? Like you ask questions, and and I remember in the initial days, Ambarish Prabhu and Avinash Prabhu also used to tell us that no, there are reactive questions and then there are good questions. Like and Avinash Prabhu took an entire class on Bhavat Vir Lok Mangalam questions. Munaya Shardu Prishtoham. Right? So I was thinking, so where is the balance? Like, okay, it is said it is okay to ask questions, but then Krishna also warns that it is not okay to keep doubting. So where is the fine line? So I asked this question, and then I realized that this is true because oftentimes what happens is we may fall under the spell of our own doubts, thereby treating our beliefs with iron fists while treating those doubts themselves with kid gloves. Right? So we usually do that. We are like, oh, my doubt is so great, but my belief is so little. So we don't treat it nicely, right? To understand this dynamic, let's envision it in terms of an inner conversation. So I thought of it like that mental model. So basically, it's three people there: our beliefs, our doubts, and we ourselves, right? So let's imagine that there's a conversation going on. So belief and doubt and us. So let's say we are questioning our beliefs, right? And our questions usually arise from our doubts, right? So we are questioning our beliefs, and our questions are given by our doubts. But as the inner questioning intensifies, our doubts oftentimes hijack the whole conversation, right? And let neither our beliefs nor even us to speak in response to the doubts. Worse still, our doubts may start harassing and arguing our beliefs in a ways that even we would find unbalanced, because we are out of control now. Our doubts have taken control. No, this is wrong. Prabhupada is wrong. Scriptures are wrong. Krishna does not agree. Blah 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 blah. And we're like, wait. But the process works. I have seen changes. No, it is all wrong. It is sentimental. So doubts keep. So it can just hijack the entire process, right? And it just becomes unbalanced and unreasonable and unfair if this continues and if this goes on, right? So. And imagine this happening in an outside conversation. Let's say three people were talking, you, somebody, and your friend, and you were just conveying the messages of your friend to your other friend. And somehow after the conversation, the messages get so intensified that you're not able to speak up. All you're doing is just conveying the messages and you don't have a thought of yourself. That is exactly what happens if we keep doubting, we just forget what has worked, what is actually true, right? And we don't treat our beliefs nicely. Our beliefs are just shut up and we just channel our doubts through, right? So just as in an external environment, we will stop such an unreasonable attacker externally, like, oh, please stop speaking, you've spoken enough. Give this other guy some time to speak. Please listen to him, be a good listener. You would say such things. Similarly, I think, Prabhu, we need to stop our doubts internally, right? And all of this is to restore fairness in our inner conversation. Like, our beliefs should also have a say. Yes, our doubts are true, but then our beliefs should also have a say, I believe. And we need to question our doubts with the same rigor with which we questioned our beliefs. And for such questioning, we can let our beliefs be our resources. When we thus ensure equal treatment for both our beliefs and our doubts, our inner conversation will be fruitful. It will take us towards a robust understanding that refines and even reinforces our core spiritual convictions. So, yes, Prabhu, that was my realization. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Very good. Very good. So Krishna says doubting is not going to help you in this life or next life. There is provided if the answer is given to you, and it's without implementing in your life, you are rejecting it. And that is why parampara is important. Because why is it important? Because every student can see whether my predecessors have they implemented it and what changes they have seen. Then I can do. That's why it is important. You see, you understand this is the point. Okay, otherwise, what is the point? Need for parampara? No need for parampara. You don't need to worship the parampara, the spiritual succession. This is the reason why. The same knowledge. I'm not a body, I'm a spirit soul. What has been taught to any person who joins in straight away to Prabhupada's message? His first message is given as this. So same message everybody is learning. How many of them have realized? Very hard. But then those who realize is in the parampara, we can follow them. And after doing that, if you doubt, then nobody can help you. That is the point Krishna is saying. No, dude, nobody can help you. He's very, very, very practical, very commonsensical Krishna. He's very intelligent, very down to earth. That's how everybody can love him. Because in the spiritual world, in Golok Vrindavan, he doesn't show himself to be God. This is the reason why. He shows himself to be God and nobody will love him. They're obliged to doing it. He doesn't like that. There's no arm, there's no air about him. So, but that doesn't mean that you should minimize. Good, very nice. I see we've got someone else joining us, some new person is joining us. Some Subhas Bhatti, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Babuji. Is known to my group, and actually he's in Hare Krishna weekend group also. So he must have received the invitation.
Okay.
So he's from Rajasthan. Nice. Yeah.
From Rajasthan. Acha. Okay. Yeah, Bhatti is Rajasthan. Yes, my brother has got a very close friend. We have a very close friend who are Bhattis as well. They're living in Mumbai. Yes, nice.
Yes.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Wonderful. Okay, who would like to go next? Have we completed the process or is there someone like to go? They're still there.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I just would like to share my realization on the same transcendental you have sent as Mataji have shared. Don't try to defy Krishna's arrangement. We should give up all our tiny efforts. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, am I audible?
Yes, please continue.
Sorry. We should give up all our tiny efforts to defy the arrangement of Krishna. Instead, whatever arrangements he proposes, we should accept. This is always better. For this will make us happy. And the more we try to defeat the arrangement of Krishna, the more we become implicated in Krishna's Maya. And but one who has reached the point of the surrendering to the instructions of Krishna is liberated, free from Krishna Maya. So I realized from that we, when we get angry, then we get angry if we think, like if we realize that the things are not happening according to us, if we want to do something or it is happening in an opposite way, then we get angry. And that's the point where we should think that we are atheist. We are not believing Krishna's plan, we are not accepting Krishna's plan. And because we are thinking that things are not happening according to us, we want to take over everything and then expect that things should go according to our own desires. And when it doesn't go, we try to control over everything. And if it doesn't go our way, we get angry, as we can only do our karmas. We don't think that we can only do something, and the fruit of that karma is in Krishna's hand. And we should not be expecting that the fruit of our activities according to our own way. And also I realized that this also implies to our children as well, as we do so much for our children, and then we feel like they should just always follow our instructions. They should just always do whatever we want. We can, I realize that we can only give the instructions to the children as well. We take control over them and try to deviate all their activities. Then we forget that what we have, we can give is the guidance to the children, like how we are getting guidance, from our acharyas, and then it's up to us that how we are progressing and then how we are deviating our own activities to get success in that. The same way we can only give the instructions to the children, but the result of that is only in Krishna's hand. So how we teaches the good activities, but that how they take and do everything is there in their hands. If their work doesn't meet our expectation, we feel to control them even more. But as soon as we provide them the Krishna environment, I believe that everything starts falling in their own place, and everything's like this try to makes them calm, and they feel they start to behave and they feel satisfied, as we can see that they don't get hyper, and they follow the instruction if they are given appropriately. And they feel this nectar of their own activities when they are in the activities of the Krishna consciousness, like they are singing, doing chanting or something, then they also feel good in that. That's why they are agreed to do that. I realize that we can only control them by providing this environment, as it automatically changes their behavior and purifies them. As I can see, Annie, this is the best way I can see that to provide this environment, and then how to deviate their activities. Otherwise, there are so many distractions around us, around everyone, that takes us it is all part of Maya Devi, of course. So we have to be very strong, as Mataji said, that to just come out of it and take control of our own activities and just see the result in Krishna's hand. So yeah, that's what I realized, Prabhuji, from that. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. Nice. Good realization. When you're children, our focus is different. Nice. All the best. Hare Krishna. Yes, who would like to go next now? Please feel free.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Anand here.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Nice to see you.
Same here, sir. Same here. मैं
Yes,
वैसे भी आपकी क्लास पुरानी है, मैं बहुत बैक बेंचर हूँ, बहुत पीछे पे बैठा हूँ, मैं तो सिर्फ सुन रहा था। सुची ने कहा कि आप भी कुछ बोलिए, इसलिए मैं थोड़ा प्रयास कर रहा हूँ, मुझे कुछ समझता भी नहीं है। आप तो वो बहुत सिस्टमैटिक और ऑर्गेनाइज्ड
She's
वे
very
से आप
clever. Suchi is very clever. You know, your daughter is very clever. Suchi Mataji. Very nice. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा। तो मैं सिर्फ इतना ही कहना चाह रहा हूँ, आपका रियलाइजेशन क्लास है, आप लोगों की काफी एक्टिविटी हो चुकी है, आप लोग बहुत सिस्टमैटिक ऑर्गेनाइज्ड वे से इसको स्टडी भी कर रहे हैं, और मैं ऑब्जर्वर हूँ, मैं उसके अंदर मैं लर्न करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ जितना मुझे समझ रहा है, और अच्छा लग रहा है। आप बहुत सुंदर तरीके से, जिस तरीके से प्रयास शुरू है, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है। और रियलाइजेशन के बारे में आपकी क्लास है, अभी मैं रियलाइज्ड हुई नहीं, तो मैं सिर्फ सुन रहा हूँ बैक बेंचर जैसे। आई एम हैप्पी टू फाइंड ये थिंग्स आर गोइंग, और भगवान सबकी व्यवस्था कर रहे हैं, इसको देख के मुझे अच्छा लगता है, बस आई एम हैप्पी फॉर इट। दैट्स इट। हरे कृष्णा।
ठीक है, हरे कृष्णा। प्लीज आते रहिए, कीप कमिंग टू द प्रोग्राम्स, ऑल द बेस्ट। और अविनाश बाबू साहब जुड़े हो तो ही इज वेरी नाइस, यू नो।
हाँ, वो मुझे गाइड करते रहते हैं। जी जी बिल्कुल।
ऑल द बेस्ट टू यू। हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा।
Yes. Okay, I think we are nearly done now. Okay. Now, is there any question before we finish? I wanted to check with you guys. Do you have any questions or anything else to ask or share? You know, we've got a little bit of time.
Hare Krishna. I just wanted to check. I cannot see Sarvasiddhi Mataji. Is she okay, Prabhuji?
Thank you, Mother. You picked up correctly. She's not well. Even, yeah. So she's on YouTube watching. She can't speak. She's not presentable. So it's a good request. Yeah. She's all right, Mother. She's nothing to worry.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. No, I noticed she is not there. So hope she is okay.
Lot of classes happening, Prabhu. She's part of it.
Lot of classes, huh?
And then granddaughter. So yeah, it just goes circle. So, yeah.
Okay, okay. No worries. No worries. Okay, right. So just a quick open-ended point. If anyone has any questions, there's a time now before we finish today's program.
Prabhu, when are we going to have our question and answer class?
We had a couple of times, but then afterwards nobody sort of had any questions, you know, because you guys have so many things, you know, so many classes also going on. I'm happy to have question answer session. I'd like to have, actually, personally speaking, I love to have question answer sessions. Two things are very important to me. First thing is realizations program. That's when we realize what devotees are doing, how you're doing, you know, whether you are teaching properly or not, you know, what are the levels, how they speak, because our vocabularies have changed now, you know. And then second thing is that question answer sessions, you know. But as I said, when you've got our programs on Sunday, then you've got your Avinash program, and then so many things, so questions are answered. But still, if you have questions, that's an open-ended question program, you know. So unless it is too far out, I'm okay with that. But then I would request to have it. If you're going to have it, then let us decide, and we'll plan accordingly, because my things are planned for a few weeks ahead, you know. So you want to have, then we can have a program next, because next week you guys have your own. You have your intermediate level examination for 1.5 hours. Yeah. So, and then yeah, okay. So we are having that. So you want to have questions after that?
Yes, Prabhu. Actually, there were a lot of new people coming up, and they have a lot of questions. So I just wanted that, if possible, I can channel it through in the class or to Avinash Prabhu somewhere, so that they can come and join our Sunday class. I basically wanted to connect them to Sunday class. So I wanted to tell him, you have your questions, they'll be answered in the Sunday class. So you come to the Sunday class, there it will all be answered. So I just wanted to create a channel basically for them to,
Okay. Okay. Maybe you can talk to Avinash Prabhu, on this. What is his plan?
That's okay,
On
Prabhu.
this, I don't mind it, Sorry?
Yeah, that's okay, Prabhu. Whatever encourages people to join. But yes, I'll talk to Path again that what kind of question, what they're asking, and those kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then it has to have a mix of questions, not two basic questions and all that. So if you guys have a bigger question, then they will also have. See, it's always a psychology. You should know. With experience of so many years, I can tell you that for new people, when they come and ask a question, they think that question is the most important question. But then when they hear some other question which is far superior to them, they say, "Wow, how to go there?" So they will indirectly become a little humble, So, so we have to understand this way things work. So if you guys also have some questions, then it'll be nice, because we will be taking an intake on the beginners program too. I'm waiting for certain things to happen and then we can do so. But if they have questions, then let me know the questions by Tuesday. Okay, it's very important to know by Tuesday. I want written questions. And I would request that not only them, then let some advanced senior devotees also, intermediate level or whatever, should also have some questions, So then there are a bit balance of situation. So we can have your intermediate level question, your answer, your examination for 1.5 hours, to start a little early and finish off at 5 o'clock, 4 to 5, so 3:30 to 5. Yeah, what do you think, Sridhar Prabhu? Is it all right for you? Sanjay Prabhu, both of you? So we'll be 3:30 to 5. It'll be a little early for us. Yes.
Week after, Prabhuji, or just this week? This coming week is an exam.
Yeah, coming week is exam.
So week after that.
No. And after that will be Q&A for myself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Next weekend, I think Sunday, so daylight saving will start. So the clock will go forward 1 hour.
Right. So we will be starting at 5 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock.
That's right. So it
So
goes
4:30. So there is no complaint for you guys. That's all right. Okay, but for India, the devotees who are writing the exams, you'll come at 9:30 in the morning till 11. No, 9:30. So 10:30 to 11:30 it was, right? So your intermediate program starts at 10:30 to 11:30, right? No, 10 to 11.
9:30 to 10:30.
Is that your normal program in India? Yeah, that's right. So you'll be from 9 o'clock to 10:30. Okay, for intermediate level there. So prepare yourself nicely, wake up early, and prepare and come, all of you. So from 9 o'clock to 10:30.
Hare Krishna. So you wrote that it will be all subjective. So will there be Viva and stuff also?
It will be written examination.
No Viva and stuff, right?
What is YY?
Viva as in
oral examination.
It's fine if you don't know it.
It's a verbal thing, is it? It's a verbal question answer session, interview, right? I'm just joking. Don't think I know all those things. I know why meaning why. Yes, student will say why, So I understand all those things. No, it's a written examination, right? So that will be from 9 to 10:30. Yeah? And then from 10:30 to 12:30, 2 hours. Let's keep it open for your Q&A. Okay, but I need good amount of questions. I need at least 5 questions, for that, including the serious questions also from intermediate and all that. So you think about it. Let's have that next week. No problem. We can do that. Because Monday we'll be very busy on Saturday. Also, for our activities. So I'll require some time to prepare and all that. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. So for now, anyone has to say anything before we finish today's program?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Did Soumya contacted you, Prabhu, for today's?
Soumya? No.
Mataji? Yeah, she sent me a message. She's traveling in Delhi. I don't know what is her plan next week.
Okay.
She doesn't. She knows our exam. I assume she will know because I think.
Yeah, I've written it down. I've given them 2 weeks notice. You know.
Yeah.
I'm sure she would know. Oh. Yeah. She's traveling, so she may not have informed us. That's all right. She informed you. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Wonderful. All right then. So let us sing. Maharaj, Maharaj, please hear us. We'll finish off early today. Who's going to sing today? Whose turn is it today? Is it Noina's turn? Are you sure, Noina? You're not fooling me, right?
I'm not.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Wonderful. You have a knack of fooling me. You know? Although I remember, yes, last week was there, so now it is yours, and all now last week was yours, so there. But I get very confused, with all this. So good. Let us start. With nice in action, okay? Full action. 1, 2, 3, start.
Maharaj, Maharaj, please hear us. We have learned some real good stuff. Maharaj, we have learned one thing. And today for you, we will sing. If our room is clean, then our mind is clean. If our mind is clean, we can do anything. If our room is dirty, then so are we. And if we are dirty, we're not happy. Wasting time is the greatest crime. Because wasted time means a wasted mind. So best use your time when you're in your prime. And your whole life will be sublime. If your wealth is gone, then there's nothing wrong. But if your health is gone, that's a different song. But if your character dies, then the world will cry. Only saintly behavior lets humanity thrive. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
We must always remember Krishna.
We must always remember Krishna
And never forget him too.
and never forget him too.
But how are we to practice this with so many things to do?
But how are we to practice this with so many things to do?
That is the greatest question.
That is the greatest question.
And here is the greatest clue.
And here is the greatest clue.
You must learn to work so nicely that Krishna remembers you.
You must learn to work so nicely that Krishna remembers you.
So listen very closely.
So listen very closely.
And make your thinking sharp.
And make your thinking sharp.
Let's learn how we can live and work so Krishna won't depart.
Learn how we can live and work so Krishna won't depart.
If something's due tomorrow,
If something's due
tomorrow.
Finish it today.
Finish it today.
And whatever's due today,
And whatever is due today,
do it now, don't delay.
do it now, don't delay.
Your friends might be lazy
Your friends might be lazy
or doing bad things,
or doing bad things.
but if you think again,
But you think again,
don't follow.
Not if, not if. But you think again.
but you think again,
Don't follow
No,
them.
no, say again. Say again. But you think again, say.
But you think again,
but you think again,
don't follow them,
don't follow them,
and you will win the end.
and you will win the game.
Whatever work we're given,
Whatever what we given,
we do our very best.
we do our very best.
We only live with what we need and give Krishna the rest.
We only live with what we need and give Krishna the rest.
This is how to live, to work and to play. If you learn to live this way, we'll see Krishna every day.
This is how to live, to work and to play. If you learn to live this way, you will see Krishna every day, not we will see. And when our time is up,
He'll take us up above. We sing and dance with him with our hearts full of love.
When our time is up, we'll take us up above and sing and dance with him with a heart full of love.
So chant Krishna's name, his glory and his fame. It's the only way this world will ever become sane.
So chant Krishna's name, his glory and his fame. The only way this world will ever become sane.
Now please ask this greatest question
Now please ask this greatest question
and find this greatest clue.
and find this greatest clue.
You can only remember Krishna
You can only remember Krishna
if Krishna remembers you.
if Krishna remembers you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai, His Holiness Srila Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gurudev ki Jai.
Hi.
Jagat Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Jagat Guru, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Krishnanta Koti Vaishnavinda ki Jai.
Jai.
Krishna Nitai Gaur Chandra Premanande.
Hari Bol.
All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga ki Jai.
Hi.
Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Hi.
Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Mahavishnu Goswami Niti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaur Vani Pacharine Nirvisheshishta Nivari Pasate Destarine. Hare Krishna. Okay, so next week, please by Tuesday, give us your questions. And let me mix of all new beginners and other questions. So we've got enough time to prepare. And we'll see you, Krishna willing, next week, same place, and same time. Till then, chant Hare Krishna and be happy, and wishing all the success, all the best to the intermediate level devotees who are preparing themselves for writing the examinations. Hare Krishna. We'll see them. We will see them half an hour earlier. So 9 o'clock India time, which is about 4:30 New Zealand time, with the revised timing, which will be great. So now, yeah, we'll see you then. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Hare Ram. Ram Ram.